Hello and welcome to the Kubeflow community meeting for the 23rd and 24th of August 2022. Bit of a light agenda today, but still lots of important stuff. So there was a bug that was fixed even in this meeting time for the blog post, which the original 5.0 blog post disappeared because it was overshadowed and someone's already made a PR. We'll talk about that. We've got 1.6 obviously is the main stuff we need to talk about, and then maybe just a quick overview of Kubeflow Summit and any other topics people want to talk about in the meeting. They can message or suggest edits in this in this doc. So the first thing I just want to cover is this random issue that I'll just confirm that. So someone in this meeting said they made a PR. Do you want to talk what you've just fixed? Oh yeah, perfect.
Yes, basically I changed the permalink for 1.5.1 release and it should fix it.
We also need to do a PR to fix the link in the actual Kubeflow this page here, because I've got like the blog link.
Yeah, I think maybe release team can do that.
Yeah, or someone just needs to do that, that's all. Also, yeah, we made this PR recently that kind of added, I've tried to track down all the videos and the roadmaps and the blogs of all the past releases. So now most of them should be here as well. So you can, and hopefully this will increase their Google ranking as well by linking to it from pages here. But you've even got like the videos and things, which is kind of cool. So nice. If you want information, or also link to the roadmap as well, actually. Cool. Anyway, just a side note there. So we'll need to remember to do that. Make PR that fixes links. Merge this PR. Okay, cool. So, and there's nothing else with 5.1 we need to do, right? We're all happy with that now, Josh?
I hope so.
Okay. Okay,
by
so
the way, I merged the PR. You can check out the status right now.
Oh, you already fixed it?
Maybe it takes a few seconds to reflect, but it's much.
Oh, it's still running. Yeah, it's fine. Cool. Awesome. Can make that a nice little strike through. What an efficient situation. Okay, so the dates, I guess, have been delayed, but there's a bit of confusion. I think we need to clarify this with the release team because the release date was delayed until the 7th, but I think there's still a plan according to the release notes, if I look at them here, to release a new RC2, because we're currently at RC1, before August 31st. But the danger with that is the day of the distribution testing ending. So it's unclear how you're meant to test something that you've just released.
See if, Matthew, if the blocking issue for notebooks.
It's closed, but I don't know if the release has been cut for it.
I'll look here.
Where is it? I've lost it now. Missed this one. So you closed this, James. Did you, so this is solved in this, or has the release been cut yet? I'm not super across this. I've been very busy over the past week.
I think the point I want to make is that after we fix the issue, we need to make sure that VS Code and RStudio icon are not being shown by default, and that's all. I think originally the problem itself is fixed, but I'm not update to the latest, so I'm not sure. But if the original problem is fixed, then this issue is fixed.
So you closed. So is this? Wait, no, this is not the same issue, right? Because so you've closed this issue.
I reopened it previously.
Then you closed it again. So, so what is the current status?
Yeah, so just to say that, like, my comment was not regarding the root problem described in this issue. So that's why I closed it, because the original problem was fixed. by PR.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just want to confirm that the image is not shown by default. Image, I mean like the logo.
Because the image doesn't
PS4.
even exist in the code base. So unless a PR added that image.
Unless the PR added an image.
Because it's currently just 1, 2, 3 at the beginning.
Right. But in the other PR, in the other comment in this issue, the logo is shown. So I just want to make sure that it's still 1 and 2.
Presumably, but I think the issue was that there is some bug with just there's some bug with this UI, right? Like that's not related to the fact that it's not showing.
Exactly. So that's why I closed it.
No, so it has been fixed. I can see it's been fixed by something supposedly, but I don't know. So this was 28 days. When was this merged? This was merged. I don't know if this has made it into the RC1 cut because this person is claiming down here that it hasn't, because this is the only thing blocking the last RC, right? So
yeah, I think it is going to be available in RC2.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if that's the case or not, because it looks like this was merged 28 days ago, which would have been almost at the same time as the RC1 was created. Well, I'll have to check that out. Okay, anyway. Cool. So we'll come back to that. So I guess that's fine. Okay, so yeah, there's some updates here that you'd have to pull out of this information, but it looks like this fix isn't merged yet. So Kimonos, who has the ability to cut releases on that branch, needs to do it. So which ones someone else has commented on something here saying there's an issue comment that they want to include. This, yeah. Are you wanting to say something, person in the chat? Oh, you're muted, by the way. Okay, so someone linked this and said they want to consider this. I'm not sure if it's already being considered. Oh, he can't talk. Okay, so he's saying that there is some issue related to
It's a profile controller issue.
Do you have a link to that so we can track it? That's not this one, is it?
If you search profile, you will be able to find it.
This one?
If that's yeah.
So is that, I imagine that's being tracked by the release team already. I'm just checking, it might not be actually. So I guess we need to make sure that this is merged. So I guess I'll put a to do here rather than that one now. Update cut Kubeflow notebooks RC2 with image group fix merge profile controller. Actually, this probably is also needing to be in that cut as well. So that probably needs to be after. So, okay. I need to follow that up. Other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot of issues that we can really talk about here publicly, unless anyone has a solution to, unless anyone's got a problem with this solution. Is this your PR person in the chat? No. Okay. Josh, do you want to talk about the, so anyone else want to say anything about these timelines and cutting of the RC2? Anything anyone really wants to raise that they need an RC2? who's here? If not, cool. Okay.
Yeah, just if you want to talk about the blog post and the slide deck, if there are folks from the working group here that can take another look at those docs, put final, let's not call them final, the next round of comments on it, that, because what I'd like to do is take the Google Doc and move it into a PR. I think the majority of the content is at least there. Probably still needs to be wordsmith. The only ones that are missing are the notebooks, the manifests, and the web apps. I think we've got comments from almost all the other working groups, but if there are just some little nits and other things that potentially people might want to improve upon, those are all, that's where you're in now, is all backup in material. Everything above where you were is the regular post.
So this part here is there.
Yeah, it's about 1,000 words, which is about what we want to come in at. And, you know, just as a reference, one other thing for anybody that's in a working group, if there are any features that we can highlight that have to deal with monitoring, because I call out monitoring as one of the things that we've heard more recently as being important to users in the survey. I put that in this post early. I kind of shoehorned it in here in this second paragraph. But what I thought was, as we go through what the working groups have delivered, if there are monitoring type features or other type of aspects, I'd like to be able to highlight it. So James, if you or somebody from the working group want to change preview to alpha, feel free to go ahead and change it. You don't have to strike through, just make things alpha. Otherwise, I'll do it. But I'd like to be able to make sure that we're using consistent terminology. And I'm more than willing to change everything to alpha, but you know, then maybe the words come out a little bit awkward and it has to be rewritten a bit, but that's fine.
Sounds good. I'm going to change it to alpha.
Sounds good. And then there was one other thing on that, James, is there was a comment, if you go down a little bit, Matthew, and maybe go slow, right here, this pip install functionality of the private PyPy repository. I think there was a comment on here that we may want to take this out because it's not a significant enough feature. That's fine. The only thing is now we only have 2 bullet points there. We may want to have 3. I don't know. I'm not saying we have to, or maybe we consolidate those 2 paragraphs that we have, but it kind of was a little bit symmetric, and there's a lot of documents that people would have to read. And I'm trying to give them a logical way to go through all the documents for KFP 2.0.
If there's already 1,000 words, I don't see a reason not to include another point.
I can add another highlight, which is to configure pipeline root in KPV2, allows you to decide which object storage path you are going to store your file.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I like it. And if there's any if there's any monitoring that you can drop in here, I don't know if there's any. I know we changed some things, but maybe there was something that came up that gave additional insights for either debugging or whatever.
Also, I haven't been following it. Is there any changes to the way experiments are currently not namespaced? Or is that not into? You know how pipeline experiments are currently global, even they're not isolated by namespace?
I think we had a big discussion about that. Oh, go ahead, James.
Yeah, I think everything else is namespace isolated, but the pipeline template itself is not isolated, it's in a shared bucket.
Yes. So, but are the experiments now like? But that would require quite a big API change, wouldn't it?
I don't think experiment require a change.
Because currently they're definitely across all namespaces.
Is it? Maybe I need to go back and check.
Because that's like a pretty big problem for a lot of users, at least when I've tried to use the experiments, because they means that if you have access to any experiment, then you have access to all of them.
I probably need to check the experiment. Is it namespace scope or not?
Yeah, I don't know if, because that seems like an important thing for 2.0, if not, because it's like a breaking change. So
Yeah, and I thought in 2.0, some of those things may get cleaned up, but I don't know. Maybe I'm.
because it's, yes, like, and yeah.
I'm pretty sure KFP experiment is namespace scoped. Not in this release, like in previous release as
Maybe
well.
it was, which release did that then? Am I?
Yeah, I have a Kubeflow instance myself, and then I can verify.
And are you seeing
Experiment
two
is already-
different experiments in different namespaces?
Yes, and I'm using 1.5.
Maybe it was 1.5
Kubeflow.
that did it then.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, maybe not 1.5. I don't know what the actual version of KFP is. It's like 1.5 is kind of not a version of KFP, but yeah. Okay, anyway, that's just I'm just making sure that that was the case. So you said you had another feature to add here. So Josh, how can you add that feature, or just
Drop
list
it in on a bullet, you know, it's fine.
Do you have edit
Put a
access,
link.
James? Oh, he does. There we go. Maybe, do we want to link to it? Probably something.
I don't have a link yet, but I will try to explain as much in this.
We should definitely try and link somewhere, right?
Yeah, we should try to find a link.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So the slide deck.
One other thing that I just have a question on, if we scroll down to CatTib or the training operator. So if anybody is aware of this, so the Python SDK, does it just support TensorFlow too, or is it only these four? And the same thing for the Golang client set. Does it have TensorFlow in it, or does anyone know?
Are we talking about the training operator, or are we talking about TensorFlow itself?
The training operator, okay, added this enhancement, which was a Python SDK, a single Python SDK for these. But I noticed that TensorFlow wasn't there.
I don't know.
But I thought that would be important since TensorFlow is the most widely used.
I don't know if it's most widely used, but it's definitely popular.
According to the survey, it's.
Probably within Kubeflow users, it's probably the most, yes.
Anyway, that's another question I had, and I don't see the comments. Maybe you turn the comments off, or maybe if they're not.
I don't know if I have the comments. Like, I don't know if I can see them.
All right.
Maybe it's here. No,
I don't know. All right.
I might need edit access to be able to see it.
But this is getting close. I basically, as you can see, I wrote this in a way that hopefully it can be cut and pasted right into a.
The good thing about adding lots of links is that it hopefully will make Google search results better for every sort of one of these words anyway.
Yeah, the bad thing about all those links is that you got to format them correctly, and then you got to double check them all. And that's, Shannon used to complain quite a bit about that. So I've taken on that and spent some time trying to make those links.
What are you using to edit them? Because if you edit in a normal IDE, Markdown is a supported. Oh wait, you're trying to do them in a Google Doc. I just realized. So
Yeah.
that could be the problem. Because like there, Markdown editors exist. You can either just use PyCharm or something like it. It's free, or you could use Visual Studio Code even.
Yeah, I just do them in Google Docs, and that's probably inefficient, but it's just a way that people can make a lot of changes real quick. We get to a version and then we put it into a PR. But maybe that's not.
We
the
could even use
approach.
Colab or something, you know, with Jupyter maybe,
Yeah.
because that supports Markdown, obviously.
Yeah, that's a good idea because all those links are a pain in the butt to. There's two parts of it. Usually the names of the PRs aren't very descriptive. And then you've got to make sure that the link is correct once you get the link, right? So it sounds easy, but it's.
We could definitely use something like Colab or like, which is like a shared Jupyter Lab instance or something to that effect. And as much as it's not a PR at that point, but slightly better than a Google Doc, because at least it supports Markdown and doesn't try and change the formatting. Because like these, you know, these bullet points aren't in Markdown format, right?
Right. Right.
Is that something that Google would be willing to facilitate, you know, setting up a Colab thing? I'm sure you have internal stuff, right? Of course,
I'm
anyone
sorry,
can.
what was asked?
Because like this is kind of a crazy way to edit a Markdown document, right? So like maybe we could collaboratively edit it more easily using another tool or something. I don't know.
I think
Colab.
I think it's like a tool called GIST, GIST, GIST.
Mm-hmm.
Is from GitHub. You can create a Markdown file.
But can you collaboratively edit it? Is that
I
what you're
haven't
saying?
tried. I haven't tried.
Just as like a or like these things.
Right.
Can you collaboratively edit them though?
Maybe not.
It's definitely something we should look into because this is obviously not a very sustainable way of doing this.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I've done it probably 10 or 12 times this way. The problem is, Matthew, is that there's a lot of content you need to dump in that then you got to kind of refine and bring up, and then you refine it again. And there's like 4 or 5 stages of refinement. And even from this part, there's a lot of refinement because people tend to change their mind the closer you get to actual delivery. On even the features, it becomes. Anyway, I get.
Anyway, thank you for doing this. Yeah, this is good. Awesome. It's looking good. Okay. Other than that, do we got anything else we want to talk about with the blog or slide deck? Is the slide deck ready or coming ready?
No, slide deck is in the same problem as the.
Well, at least this one is editable in here.
Yeah, this is, and then you've just got to keep them in sync because you make one changes in one and now you got to change them in the other. But this one's still missing all the notebooks in the working group, and then everybody that changes in the blog post will have to be changed back here. But we're not too far off. You can see, I mean, I've used it to do a presentation already. So
That's cool. There's other things that we'd love to talk about around like Amazon and stuff, but I don't think anyone's here from Amazon, so I have to talk about that later. Like ask about the updates on the testing infrastructure. But I don't think anyone's here from that. Okay, cool. Anyone got anything they want to say before we close, other than the fact there is a Kubeflow summit? If you want to help participate in it, not attend, but participate in making it, respond on the Kubeflow discuss.
Yeah, I thought Amber was supposed to set up a meeting this week, but I haven't seen where that meeting is. So maybe she set it up. I didn't get invited, or maybe it didn't get. But I mean, October sounds a long way away. It's not, right?
Yeah, it's really close, especially for anything as when you're involving hundreds of people coming to a place or something.
Yeah, especially international. Some people are already saying that the date's too fast.
Yeah, that's yeah. For me, like I would be able to attend if it was in late November, but I probably won't otherwise, or after. But obviously, November then becomes, you know, Thanksgiving, and it's a mess. So
And,
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. So I sent a link to the chat that allows you to convert Google Doc to Markdown. It's
Oh,
an on. Yeah, so it's probably make it easier for you.
Got it.
that would be potentially a solution.
Yep.
I
Well,
like it.
there's still you've got to change often, like I said, the PR names are not very descriptive. So,
But that's fine because that's still edit. You can still do that. Like if I want to edit this link's description, I can click edit and I can give it a random name.
yeah.
It's the same concept. Let me just fix that. Dot to Markdown plugin. Just make the link more direct. Okay, cool. So I guess again, Kubeflow Summit, please respond in Kubeflow discuss thread if you want to help organize. And I can link it there, which is here. And then other than that, anyone got anything they want to say? Hi, you know, we're not a lot to talk about today, so. If not, then I will close the recording and thank you everyone for coming.
Thanks, Matthew.
See you.